What's going on, you guys? Today we're going to be learning the legendary song Blackbird by the Beatles. Real quick before we get into it, I would like to ask that if you find this guitar tutorial helpful, that you please consider subscribing. That would really mean the world to me. Now let's get into it. You were watching Logan's Lessons. This song starts with our third finger on the third fret of the low E string. On our right hand, our thumb is going to be taking care of the low E, and our third finger on the B string. Our middle finger later is going to take care of the G string, okay? You're going to pick your thumb and your third finger together, your low E and your B string together. Then our middle finger is going to hit the G string, okay? Right after that, we change chords. We take our third finger off of the third fret of our low E string down there, and instead place our first finger on the first fret of our B string. We're going to pick the A string, so our thumb comes down to the A string and our B string together. Our third finger just stays on the B down here. Same thing, we also hit the G string with our middle finger. So we have a, okay? Do that with me. Then right here we go to a B minor third. I like to play this B minor third with my middle finger on the second fret of the A string and my pinky finger on the third fret of the B string. Same picking pattern as the previous chord. Right? Right? So together we have. And we slide that up so that our middle finger lands on the 10th fret of the A string, and our pinky is actually going to extend out one more fret to the 12th fret. It's a major third, okay? But here the picking pattern changes. We start with the A string and the B string together, then we play the G string, hit the B string with our third finger, the A string with our thumb, the G string with our middle finger again, and then the B string with our third finger. And like I just did, it happens twice. So A and B together, G, B, A, G, B, and that whole thing happens twice. Do that with me. And that is a motif throughout the song. We're going to call that part A. Okay? So that is the intro. It also is the first part of the verse. So first time through this song, that happens twice. We'll go. It's good to think of that as the intro, and then you do that again. This time being the first part of the verse. That's when he starts singing. And then we go into part B. Part B starts with the major third on the third fret of the A string. So your index finger is going to be on the third fret of your A string, and your pinky finger is going to be on the 5th fret of your B. Okay? Same picking pattern that we're used to. We're hitting the A string and the B string together with your thumb and third fingers respectively. Then we're going to hit the G string with your middle. Then our next chord is interesting. We're then going to place our middle finger on that 4th fret of our A string and take our index finger up to the 3rd fret of the high E string. Same picking pattern, but instead of the B string, we're going to be hitting the high E. So we hit the A string and the high E string together, and then the G string with our middle finger. So we have a, okay, do that with me. Then we do that same exact thing up 2 frets. On the 5th fret, like that, and then make sure that your middle finger hits the 6th fret of your A string and your index finger on the 5th fret of your high E. Like that. So we have a, okay? Then we go up so that our middle finger is on the 7th fret of the A string and our pinky finger is on the 8th fret of the B. Same picking pattern that we had up here in the first part of the verse, the part A. Only it just happens once. Okay? Then what we do is we go down so that our index finger is on the 6th fret of the A string and our pinky finger stays in the same place. So we have a, okay? Do that with me. Then we slide this entire shape just down 1 fret. So our index finger is on the 5th fret of the A string and our pinky finger is on the 7th fret of the B. Same picking pattern as usual. We have the A and the B strings together, and then the G string. Okay, then we go to the second chord of the B shape with our middle finger on the 4th fret of the A string and our first finger on the 3rd fret of the high E. Like that, okay? Picking the A and the high E together, and then the G string with our middle finger. So far, part B will sound like this. Okay, right here we then go to a C major 3rd, which is the same as the first chord of part B, with our index finger on the 3rd fret of the A string and our pinky finger on the 5th fret of the B string. This time though, we're going to do the second picking pattern that we have. Okay, like that. Then we take our pinky finger down to the minor 3rd, which would just be coming from the 5th fret down to the 4th fret. Same picking pattern. Like that. Then we just slide this entire shape down 1 fret to the second fret of the A string and 3rd fret of the B string. Same picking pattern there. Then we just have the 2nd fret of the B string, but nothing changes on your right hand. Then we have the last chord of part B, and it's actually the same chord as the first chord of part A. It's your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, and it's the second picking pattern. So you're going to take your thumb up to the low E string and do that picking pattern. So part B will sound like this. Okay? Then the first time through, it kind of changes what you do after that every single time. The first time through, it'll do this, where you're starting again with a C major 3rd, with your first finger on the 3rd fret of your A string and your pinky on the 5th fret of the B string. First picking pattern. Okay, then we're going down to a B minor 3rd with your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A and your pinky on the 3rd fret of your B string. So we have a... Then we go down to the 2nd fret of our B string. Second picking pattern there. 1st fret of your B string. And then 3rd fret of your low E string. Again, remember to take your thumb up to the low E string. So part B with that first ending will sound like this. Then you go back into part A. But this time it only happens once, and you're back into part B. But here, the ending is different. We slide up so that our index finger is on the 8th fret of the A string and our pinky is on the 10th fret of the B string. Okay, and we do the first picking pattern. A string and B string together, and then the G string. Okay, then we're going to slide down so that we have a E minor 3rd with our index finger on the 7th fret of the A string and our pinky on the 8th fret of the B string. Okay. Then we slide this down 2 frets to a D minor 3rd with our index finger on the 5th fret of the A string and our pinky finger on the 6th fret of the B string. Down to a C major 3rd with our index finger on the 3rd fret of the A string and our pinky finger on the 5th fret of the B string. Again, first picking pattern. Then we slide this down 2 frets to a B major 3rd. To do that, we're going to put our first finger on the 1st fret of the A string and our pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. This time we're doing the second picking pattern. Then we slide it up 2 frets back up to the C major 3rd and do the second picking pattern. So that'll sound like this. The second time through, it does a lot of it similarly. But here, we still do that the same. Then we go down. Instead of going back up to the C major third, we're going to go down and just the second fret of the B string. Okay? And down to the first fret of the B string. And then you're back to part A. So that second ending will sound like this. Back in part A. Now do that with me. Okay, so then after that we go back into, and then we have part B. And then we have the same alternative ending. And here is like the instrumental. And that's like where the bird sound effects come in. So after you've gone through that the second time with the alternative ending, you go back to like the part A, right? This time when you go up to this G major third, you're going to pick through that second picking pattern 4 times. And then the first picking pattern 4 times as well. You wait there for a second, and he goes like that, and he just kind of hits that, the A and the B strings together, and slides down real fast. Okay? That gets you back into kind of a part A, okay? Right there. We do those 3. Just like that, and then we go up to the C major third, down to the B minor third, so C major third being the 3rd fret of your A string and your pinky finger on the 5th fret of the B string. First picking pattern on the B minor third, which is the 2nd fret of your A string, and your pinky finger on the 3rd fret of your B string, 3rd fret of your B string. And then we go into the 2nd fret of the B string, again, first picking pattern. 1st fret of the B string, 2nd picking pattern. Like that. So that'll sound like this. And then we go back into part A. Part B then. And then, so you go down to that 3rd fret of your low E string. Then you do that same first ending that we did earlier, like 3 more times. And here at the end, we hit the G and the B strings open, and then the 3rd fret of your low E string like that. Okay? And that is how you play Blackbird by the Beatles. If you have a song request, comment it or DM me. If you wish to be notified of future videos, hit that bell. I sincerely hope that you are well. Please do me a favor and hit that like button blue. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe too. I hope this video has been a blessing. You've been watching Logan's Lessons.